Good morning and welcome. Welcome to my live stream Fight CPS with your host, Bob Pace. It's August the 5th, 2025, and I'm here to help you with your child protection system matter. It's a government entity that you've encountered, and most likely your children have been taken and they weren't in danger. And I'm here to share information that I've amassed for the last 15 years. I've been fighting CPS. Now, I call CPS the Child Protection System. There are many different names in many different places. A lot of them are like the Child Protection Services, CPS. In my case, in Orange County, that's what it was called. Next door in LA County's Department of Children and Family Services, which a lot of places are called that too. And in Arizona, it's Department of Children's Services, DCS. Now, other places like in Kentucky, it's called the Cabinet. So no matter where it is, it's a government entity that's supposed to protect our children from neglect and abuse, and also do what's called family reunification. Reunify the family, to bring the family back together if there's a hiccup with your parenting skills. Now, being a parent is sometimes a very hard job, and we're not born with the knowledge or the information of how to be a good parent. Now, not all parents are bad parents. Unfortunately, we encounter rogue agencies, and that's what it seems to be the case of over 2,500 people I've talked to, not only from the United States, but from 22 other countries. It is a hard and tragic thing that you're going through, and I'm here to help you. I'm not an attorney, not a lawyer, but I'm a loving man, a father, and a husband. I've helped raise 6 children, and I have 42 years of marriage, and I have a lot of life skills. I've been working for 61 years, and I am here to help you get back your child or fight your child, no matter what the situation is. Yesterday, I had someone talk to me that's been talking to me on and off about their case of having her children taken by another country, Canada. She was visiting Canada, and somehow she stayed in a shelter instead of a hotel. And I guess the CPS rounded up people at that shelter because maybe it was a bad thing. I don't know. And it's hard for me to understand. But anyway, one of the family members stepped forward from Florida and somehow convinced the Canadian authorities to have her take her children back with her to Florida. And now she's after the mother who has had another child in New York, and she wants that child also. It's hard to believe that there's that much corruptness out there. But that and many stories. The stories of people that are Native American Indians that are being abused, and the ICWA, the Indian Child Welfare Act, is not being followed by CPS. There's an act of 1978 called the Indian Child Welfare Act, and it's basically to protect Indian children. So, Indian children for a long time, over 100 years, have been taken from Indian families and not returned, and they've been their traditions and their language and their food and their haircut, not wearing clothing, have been going on since they started about 1875, rounding up people, put them on reservations. You have to keep in mind the American Indians here are the first immigrants. They're the Native Americans. They have every right to be here because they're here first. And the Europeans, us, have pushed them onto reservations that couldn't sustain food and they couldn't do their way of life. See, they had a very nomadic way of life. But one thing about their life is that they used everything usefully, they didn't throw it away. Anyway, those children, if they're found to be Indian children, CPS must make every attempt to have them turned over to an Indian reservation, and those children um, help to be reunified through an Indian family, a family like themselves. They take care of their own. That's one of the many facets that I've learned about helping one another there. Now, this is an interactive live stream. And what I mean by that is that you can um, text me messages. I have it up there on the board. It's self-explanatory. Please text me a message in the format that I ask. Now, if you're from the United States, you don't have to put the country. I already know that all the states in the United States, I know what country you guys are from. But that's put up there because there are 22 countries out there that have communicated with me about CPS. So I'm open to everybody who's involved with CPS, whether you're from the United States or from another country in the world. I have a wonderful lady named Leica from South Africa that calls in from time to time, country code 27, who talks about her case of child protection gone bad. It seems like everybody has something in common. They've encountered a rogue CPS who insists that they're right and all the parents are wrong. Now, there is child abuse, don't get me wrong. There's over 1,000 cases every day that go unreported. 1,000 cases every day. That's a lot. Now, most of the reporting of the cases are done by two groups of people. What are called the mandated reporters. These are people, because their job, have to report child abuse or child neglect. And they go through training and they're required by law to report any suspected neglect or abuse. But they seem like you can only get it right 50% of the time. Last year, there's been 4,200,000 cases of child abuse. And of that, the mandated reporters did all those reporting. Half of them, 2 million, were found to be of insufficient consequences, meaning that they were false. They weren't proven to be abused at all. So the mandated reporters get it right half of the time. The other kind of reporters are the lay people, the people like your family and friends and relatives, neighbors, the guy working at the store, at the gas station. Sadly, they get it right about 70, they get it right about 25%. 75% of cases are not right. And they use it as retaliation against the neighbor or against their spouse to alienate the children. You should never call in a false report to CPS and try to use it to your gain because it won't work. It ruins the family. There are just too many CPS agencies that have gone rogue. They retaliate. They love the money part of CPS. It's $1 trillion business. I mean, that's how much money is passed from the federal government to the state to the county. That's how CPS is set up. Besides, text me a message. You can be a guest on my live stream. All you need to do is contact Grace at vincentwdavis.com. Send an email to her, one of my 14 live streams you want to be on. I'm on every day of the week, twice a day. I come on typically at 10 a.m. Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. on the weekends. And then at nighttime, 7 p.m. every night of the week. But there are occasions, sometimes I come on earlier or maybe later. Something will come up. Like this morning, I come on at 8 o'clock this morning, earlier. So I'm on earlier here. Good morning, Classical Mommy. Good to hear from you. Thank you very much. Classical Mommy, a dozen children found living in a church basement in Georgia at the direction of CPS. All they were teens from out of the state facilities. Oh my goodness. A church in Georgia. Well, that's a very interesting thing, Classical Mommy. I haven't heard about that one. I haven't heard about that one. I have not heard about that one. Yep, here it is. "12 teens found living in a church basement," fire marshal says, have violated country codes. This is in Clayton County, Georgia. The Clayton Fire Marshal Office says a church basement where a dozen teens were living violated county fire codes. The teens who were living there in custody of the Georgia Division of Family and Children Services, that's DFCS, have since been relocated. Clayton County Fire Chief Team Sweets and firefighters were called for a medical call on Tuesday night at the New Faith Apostolic Church on Rex Road. When the firefighters arrived, they saw several teens who were living in the church basement. They notified the Clayton County Fire Marshal's office. Fire departments determined there were 12 teens living in the church, roughly between the ages of 15 and 18, and they were relocated to the church from another state approved facility in the county. We have taken the appropriate actions to protect the youth and safety. This structure is not designed to be dwelling or residence. Therefore, we're taking appropriate necessary steps to relocate these youths to ensure their safety. We said firefighters were told that children were moved there at the direction of the state fire marshal. However, officials with the fire marshal stated they did not move the children from the state facility to the church. The church is classified as assembly where people gathered, conduct their business, worship, and then go home. It's not designed from a fire protection standpoint to be a living dwelling residence where people occupy the space overnight. The fire chief said the beds were set up in different rooms. The boys and girls were staying in different rooms. Clayton County Fire Marshal Clayton Cameron said the church changed the classification of the building to residential board and care, but in reality is designated as assembly classification. Certain fire protection systems or fire protection aspects are required. This facility doesn't have sprinkler systems. Based on the way they use it downstairs, it requires a sprinkler system. It requires a fire alarm, fire extinguishers, hood assembly, etc., in order to protect the occupants under residential board and care. She said the children were living in the church, not staying there temporarily, living in the church. They sleep here, they get up, they leave, come back, so they're using it as a residential occupancy, their home. Children have been moved to another state approved facility. Neither Sweat nor Cameron commented on the legality of the children being relocated to the church or why they were moved from their previous state approved facility. Oh my goodness gracious. And this Children Division of Family and Services was the one that set all this up. This is a classic example of what the child protection system is. It's terrible. It's terrible. And thank you for sharing that, Classical Mommy. Good grief. That's wrong. The child protection system has gone really bad. That is so wrong. That's so wrong. This is the kind of agency you got to be careful about. There are bad CPS agencies out there. They're rogue. You never know. You never know what's out there. That's why you got to be careful. Now, the 2,500 people that have been on my show, my live stream, or have been texting in or calling in, have told me horrific bad stories. No question about that. Uh, boy, I'm sorry to hear about that. I really am. That is really just a horrible thing. You know, 15 to 18 is really tough. Those are trouble years. Why a CPS, the Child Protection Agency, letting them live in a church? What kind of protection is that? Where were the heads thinking? See, that's what scares me. Is you're dealing with rogue entities out there, entities that do foolish things. I mean, there was the case of the pink ladies in Prescott, Arizona in the summer of 2022 that, for whatever reason, thought it'd be cute for them to buy pink t shirts. Now, that wasn't protecting, that was not um, anything connected with breast awareness. What it was, it's 8 social workers in Prescott with over 35 years of experience in CPS, the Child Protection System, decided it'd be cute if they would stencil on the front and back of the t-shirts On the front, they put professional child kidnappers. Professional child kidnappers. That's not a joke. And on the back, they said, "Parents, do you know where your children are at?" And they're praying around in Prescott in the public in all the big stores. You know, like Kmart and Walmart, or like Best Buys or Target or Sears or J.C. Penney's or Costco. Anywhere there was parents around. That was sad. And the parents were appalled, and they called in. And the city of Prescott did fire the 8 social workers, along with a ninth person who was the director. That left one person left to handle all the child protection service needs in that city. And it was hard. It was hard. These incidents are terrible. These incidents are terrible. Anyway, Classical Mommy is sharing some other information. By the way, those social workers were caught and they were fired. But it did not stop the hurt or pain. And this is in a town called Prescott, Arizona. It is known for the Billy Jack movies. And there's a lot of Indian tribes or reservations that are near that area. Ugh. Classical Mommy says with the 64 million kids in the United States, an alleged 1,000 abuses a day would take only 175 years to remove every child in America. How many years have been in business so far, Bob? Since 1962. 1962. So 62 to 72 to 82 to 92 to 2002 to 2022. That's 56 years, or no, 51 years. 23, 24, that's 3 plus 50. 53 years they've been in business. 53 years. They have impacted the American family. There's no question about that. I'd say half of the cases out there have been wrong. Have been wrong. The mandated reporters are 50% right. The lay people are only 25% right. Meanwhile, we hear children all the time being abused and neglected. Well, if it's 175 and you take away 50 years from that, that means it's only, wow, it's only 50 more years at this rate. 50, 50 more years before every family will be affected. And it's all got worse. It's not gotten better. Time after time, I read about these horrific stories or am told by these horrific stories. Here's a big statistic: 4.2 million youths are experiencing homelessness in the U.S. each year. 4.2 million. That is young adults and teens experiencing homeless. That includes, of the 4.2 million youth, 700,000 unaccompanied minors who are not part of a family unit. That is so sad. That is so sad. I agree, classical mommy. You know, she further says how many years before they have impacted every family in America? 63 years. 80% of allegations go unfounded. 50% of them founded are bogus lies. So they only get caught right about 6% of the time. Yes, I do hope the Doge listens to the people out there. Um, I forgot to put my phone number up on the screen. Here it is. Please call me at that number. I'm available to talk to. My phone is ready, standing by. The other number you see, 888-888-6582, is Mr. Davis's phone number. That's the law offices of Vincent W. Davis and Associates. He has a law firm in Arcadia, California. That's Los Angeles County. He can be hired at $500 an hour, and his retainer for LA County is $5,000. That's approximate. You need to talk to him personally to get the right amount. Um, it all depends on how long your case has been going on. The complexity of your case will determine the amount of the retainer. But he's a pit bull of attorney. He's one of the attorneys that I strongly recommended. I had used him, and he has been my attorney, and he has gotten back two of my children. He has gotten back two of my children. Unfortunately, one of the children was brainwashed into thinking by the social worker that she could divorce her parents, emancipate. See, in California, it's terrible. The law says at age 12 you can divorce your parents, and you don't have to come up with a good reason. Uh, Oh boy. Sometimes it's hard with this live stream. Hi, Daniel Watt. I haven't talked to you in ages. Daniel Watt's from Georgia. She's a wonderful mom. She finally has her son back. I guess he came back at age 19. CPS had kidnapped him and refused to give him up even when he was an adult. Anyway, she tried for years. I don't know, Daniel. Sometimes the show gets hard and hard. The show gets harder and harder. There's no question about that. And Daniel, I'm so glad you're here. I'm on early because I'm going to court. I have court all day today. So I'm glad, Classical Mommy, you got your son back. They do try to brainwash people. Anyway, I did have my phone number up, but somehow apparently it went down. I don't know why. I was talking about hiring an attorney, Vincent Davis. And this is sometimes hard to deal with. Day after day, twice a day, 7 days a week, 14 shows a week, 22 months. That's over a year and a half. And I've talked to thousands and thousands of people. And they're beautiful people. But the common thing that everybody has, including myself, is that we encountered a corrupt agency that does not believe in families, that does not believe in family reunification, that believes in retaliation. Where I lost my daughter, you know. Anyway, my time is over because it's after 9 o'clock. I do have to get going. I have to go to court. So I want to thank you all for listening. I want to thank Daniel Watt from Georgia and Classical Mommy, who's also from Georgia. Thank you, ladies, for calling in. Not calling in, but for texting in and helping me to help others. I'll be here again tonight at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. That's 7 p.m. I care about every one of you. I have a big heart. I want to help you. You got to help yourself by talking to me. So please be on my show tonight at 7 p.m. That's Pacific Standard Time. I'm on the west coast of California, south of Los Angeles, Surf City, USA, 3 blocks from the ocean. So with that being said, I'm saying good morning. Have a beautiful day. Do not forget to keep fighting for your kids. Come here often to be rejuvenated. And hopefully you don't have to go through the experience of me and my lost children. God bless you. It'll be a short video from Mr. Davis. Please listen to it. See you tonight.
A vivid picture is encrypted in your mind as the critics get in line like they're witnessing a crime. But then you notice there's a shiver in your spine from the feelings of discontentment and bitterness combined. Heartbroken when you listen to the judges, another kid's innocence corrupted. And if you go against it, it's destructive. Consider this predicament the toughest, but we believe in a system fit for justice. Child Protective Services only pretends to save it. The one solution for this is worthy of instant praises. 30 years of experience with relentless cases. Allow me to introduce them. This is Vincent Davis, defending you when they don't think a mother fits the role. Is it juvenile dependency or government control? Observe the pain in their eyes. It's time for us to realize we are the last one.